Hi everyone, we should have created the dashboard that's shown on the Tableau screen. Next, we'll be creating various parametric survey charts. This would help us in sizing up the FPSOs in future regions and also help us to consider various other factors that may help in the sizing up. Alright, so let's create this chart 2A length over breadth ratio. Let's click on the new chart. Okay, so number one, make sure length, breadth, depth, maximum operating draft, date width, equivalent throughput are in the dimensions. And if they are in the measures, right click and select the convert to dimensions. So we're going to do it right now. So you can see breadth is in the measure, so I'm going to right click, convert to dimension, date weight, convert to dimension, depth, and throughput, convert to dimension. Alright, so they're in dimensions, length, breadth, depth, draft, max operating draft. Just do a quick check. Yeah, let's convert to dimensions. I believe we have all in dimensions, and now is to make sure they are of the numbers data type. So we look at the top, breadth. Yes, the data type is numbers. This is actually still in alphabet. Date weight, numbers, depth numbers, equivalent throughput numbers. Okay, you scroll down, length, ABC, that's not numbers. So I'm going to right click, change the data type to numbers, and I'm going to change it to whole. So whether to change to number, decimal, or whole, I need to look at the data source. Okay, let me click on numbers whole first. And if you look at data source, okay, all these are the data type. So if I were to scroll to length, okay, over this column, you'll see that the numbers, these are the various data for length. And we will look to see whether there are any decimals. Yeah, so there isn't any decimal, so that's why I've clicked numbers whole for data type. Max operating draft is already in numbers. So we are all good to go for number one. Next is to click the length dimension to rows and drop it, and breadth to columns. Okay. Next, we right click on the length and breadth pools and select continuous because right now they are discrete. So click on continuous, and the next one click on continuous. Then you'll see a scatter chart or scatter plot being created. Okay, then we'll click on the analytics pane, which is on the top left, and drag trend line to the center, and we'll select linear. Okay, this is the graph. Okay, and then we'll drag vessel name and mooring system type to label icon in the marks card. Vessel name and mooring system type because we want to see the pattern to label marks card, and click on mooring system type and show filter. Okay, and lastly, the ratio is the gradient of the trend line. So if we were to mouse over, you'll see the ratio of length over breadth, which is 3.3 with a y-intercept of 114. But if you can see, all this FPSO, they are plotted all over the screen. And if you can see, there are two SM. SN means spread mooring. You can look at this data again from the Excel. You can study this from the Excel chart. So if we were to unclick SM, the whole chart will change. Let me just open up. Okay, so this is the trend line is now 5.39. This is similar to what we have been using in our formulas. And there's an outlier here as well. This is IT. So if I were to exclude this data set, this would further fine tune my trend line to 5.5. Just now was 5.3. So it's gone up steeper. So let me undo. Okay, to leave it as it is. So this is something I could use.